Alright guys, today I'm going to explain how to study. I'm going to give you all the study tips I know, literally valuable advice, and honestly, if I could go back in time, I would have paid for this because it would have honestly saved me, and this applies to many things, not just studying. So let me explain my story. I'm currently a fourth year medical student, and I was always average in school. Because first of all, I never knew how to study properly. I didn't understand the philosophy behind studying, like how do you study, do you make notes, do you read books? I didn't have proper good guidance. Everyone thought I was dumb, but deep down I actually was clever. I just didn't know how to work properly, and that was my issue. I had bad grades throughout, but after so much time of innovating and experimenting, I finally know what works for me and how to study, and I thought I'd share it with the world. So let's get this point very clear. Consistency versus intensity. I love talking about this because this applies to many things. The gym, studies, So let's talk about it. So consistency versus intensity. Why less is good at the start. So John feels pressures to study. His classmates are studying 6 hours a day and he never studies at all. So John decides to use all his willpower to study and manages to push through and get 6 hours done. He feels exhausted and the next day he tries again, but after 30 minutes he can't do it because he's purely exhausted. So what this is about is basically when I started medical school, everyone was saying online, oh, we study 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. I was someone with a background who barely studies. So for me, I was really anxious. And whenever I tried to do so many hours, I'd push through and get it done. But the next few days, I couldn't do it. On the other hand, there's Chloe. Her classmates are studying 7 hours a day, and she decides she'll do 1 hour 30 minutes each day because she never studies at all, and it'll be realistic for her, and she'll be able to do this every day without feeling exhausted. Consistency over intensity. So over time, if you study like 1 hour each day, right? Let's say 1.5 hours each day, you're going to do more than the previous guy, right? So study 1 hour every day and build that routine. Once you've done it every single day, then increase the hours. So go from 1 to 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours. Does that make sense? You need to kind of build, you need to build the discipline. That is what you need to do. And at the end of the day, this person, Chloe, is going to do more work than John because John's just getting exhausted. He needs a rest day. His mind isn't built for it. But if you build that consistency of just doing 1 hour each day, you'll build it up eventually 2 hours, then 2.5, then 3 hours. You'll be able to study consistently. That applies with the gym. That applies with everything. Consistency over intensity any day of the week. I mean, there are certain situations where intensity beats consistency. For example, you want to become a bodybuilder, then you need to, I don't know, let's say you need to do heavier weight on the machines, for example. But more or less, consistency beats intensity. And at the end of the day, if you're doing it consistently rather than doing last minute 6 hours, you're gonna do more in the long run. Okay, let's talk about study methods. So before I talk about study methods and all this stuff, right? You want to find what works for you. Find your flow. This is what works for me, and something else might work for you. But this genuinely helps me and works for me, and it might work for you, so you can give it a go. Right? So the first thing you want to do is, when you read a book, right? I feel like half of the information on the book is not even really valuable. It's kind of useless sometimes. What you want to do is find what the important things are. You need to find out what's important. You need to find them. So I don't know, for example, in medicine, it might be like there's a page, it's talking about random stuff, and I see there's a table of the different types of hepatitis. Then of course I'm going to focus on that. That's important. Now, obviously, you might be studying another subject. By the way, this lecture applies to all subjects. You might be studying like another subject, but you gotta find what's important. Whether that's asking someone who is a senior than you, or asking someone who has more experience than you, or even asking AI. Whatever it is, you need to kind of sit down and find what's important because you don't want to waste time. You want the best quality of studying. You don't want to just read stuff non-stop and get bored. You want to find what's important, what's not important, what you need to know, what you don't need to know. And there are times where you kind of need to know everything, So try and find what's important. And once you have found what's important, you want to create flashcards. Now, creating flashcards is apps like Anki or Quizlet. I use Quizlet personally, and I'm not sponsored by Quizlet. Let me just make that clear. I even use the paid membership for Quizlet. I think it's worth it because you can practice the cards really well. It has many features. You can even use AI, Quizlet AI, to make flashcards for you. So if you put like a document into Quizlet, it'll depending on how big the document is, it'll make flashcards from that document and notes and stuff. So yeah, creating flashcards is really good. You can use Anki or Quizlet, or there's loads of them. And what you want to do once you've created these flashcards, and by the way, let me get this clear. When you create flashcards, actually look at what you're writing down. What are you creating? What question are you creating? What notes, whatever you're making. Creating flashcards is actually part of studying. A lot of people are saying, oh, creating flashcards takes too long. But actually, if you do it properly, it's very valuable. And it's actually studying. You're creating flashcards. You're looking at, I don't know, what the definition of this is and the answer. Once you've created these flashcards, you want to practice them daily, right? Consistently. Don't just do it one day. Oh, I remember. No, every day. Keep your mind fresh. Practice them. Right. Let me clear this up. So, if you struggle with anything, I've had this problem my whole life. Whenever I see something I struggle with, I don't take action. And I think as humans, we do this normally. If you struggle, find what you just find out how to. Hang on, my English is not even working. So, if you struggle with something, try and find the answer. If you're stuck, use YouTube. Literally, YouTube is the key. Back in 19th centuries, didn't have any of this, and if they had this, they would have done amazing. Use GPT, use YouTube. They are really helpful. With GPT, you can ask many things, and I'll get onto it. YouTube, there's thousands of lecturers who will teach better than your teacher. For example, one day I was stuck on ascending tracks, descending tracks. I didn't really understand it, so I decided to watch a full lecture on it, and oh my god, I learnt it, So if you're stuck with something, write it down on like a notepad or something and go over it. That's what you want to do. You want to learn everything. Okay. You want to do practice questions, which is kind of obvious. Past papers, whether it's a question bank or whatever it is, find some past papers. Now, another method is teaching. Teaching is really good. I have a classmate who... I think he barely actually studies himself, but all he does is just he probably does, but most of his study is teaching other people, and he gets better grades from doing that. If you teach another person, it improves your studying so much. I'd really recommend that. If you have some friends, you could maybe test each other or whatever. Take advantage of that. I don't have many friends, so I don't really do this as much, but whenever I have the time, I really try to do that. So teach others. As much as you can. Why do I feel like I spelled teach wrong? I'm getting OCD. Okay, anyways. Teach others. There's so the whole formula to pass an exam or do well in an exam is go over the content, make sure you understand it, right? Again, important stuff. Make sure you understand all of it, especially the important stuff, and all you want to do is practice it. That is the way. No, I did spell teach right. I don't know why. I think I have ADHD or something. So that is the way. This is the most efficient study method, but you do have to put time into it, right? Let's get to the next thing right here. GPT resource. So I wanted to explain and show you GPT. So for example, on the top right here, I wrote make a table of all the different types of tuberculosis. The table was even bigger. I just couldn't screenshot it. And I think that's amazing. You need to use AI. You have to use AI now. I know sometimes AI can be inaccurate, but I think I've experimented it enough. If you do super complex things, it will struggle. A super complex question, it might struggle, but usually it's right 85% of the time, I can guarantee you. Use AI. It can make notes for you. It can do so much for you. If you're stuck on something, look here. Explain tuberculosis as if I was 5 years old. Bang. Compare ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease using a table. Bang. You're getting free stuff. It explains really well for me personally. If I get stuck, I've been using GPT. If I get stuck on anything, because I like how it can, break it down. And, I'm not the smartest person and it takes me ages to learn something, but using this resource has genuinely helped. So use AI. There's loads of AIs. If you're not a fan of GPT, you can use Gemini, you can use Cloud. There's loads. And honestly, these things are helpful. Even if you have the paid version of GPT, it can even identify graphs for you. For example, you see a table on your textbook and you don't understand, copy paste it into GPT-4. I think it's worth it. I paid for it a few months, and honestly, it helped a lot because especially with histology and pathology, there's a lot of graphs, and it was able to identify what this was and that really helped. All right, next, eat the frog. So eat the frog. All this means is basically, as soon as you wake up, do the hardest task. Get it out the way. Don't delay it. because you're just going to feel uncomfortable. Whatever the hardest task is of your day, if it's studying this chapter or whatever it is, get it done first thing in the morning. It might not even be studying. For example, you have a business. The hardest task for you is doing a meeting. Get it done first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way. Eat the frog. That is what you want to do. Eat the frog. Get the hardest task done first thing in the morning. This is some random ideal study routine. So I wanted to make this clear for everyone. So people say night owls. I know there's some people who are night owls. Some people work in the morning. Honestly, waking up early in the morning is the best. If you wake up early in the morning, you have the most ATP. ATP is basically energy. What you want to do is pray, meditate, whatever it is you like to do to get your head straight. Don't watch like YouTube or like stuff, because it'll go into your mind. Just have a clear mind, have some coffee or water or whatever. Don't even eat. Honestly, don't eat, because it makes you tired. And get straight to it. Wake up in the morning, first thing first, because in the morning there's no distractions. Everyone's asleep. The whole world's asleep. I've put 6 to 7 here. I know people wake up at 6 to 7, but if you can wake up 5 to 6, then do 5 to 6. Just wake up super early and try and get 1 to 2 hours done. Begin with that. And then over time you can increase it. Don't do this thing where you go straight into 5 hours, because you're going to struggle. Begin with 1 to 2 hours. Make those baby steps and then build it up. So here, for example, 6 to 7, and you've done 1 hour, then take a 10-minute break. And by the way, regarding breaks, don't go on your phone. And I know people say check your phone sometimes, but no. Take a little walk, have some water, go to the bathroom. That's it. Don't do anything else, because honestly, breaks can be disastrous. Breaks can lead to procrastination. I know I've been there where I spent hours on my phone by accident, and I told myself I'm just doing a 10-minute break from my study. And make sure this is deep work. Be hyper focused, no distractions, good quality. And if you wake up early, there shouldn't be any distractions. So again, eat the frog. In the morning, you want to eat the frog. And if you want to study more later on, which a lot of people do, you can do some light studying. Do something which is light on your mind, because you've done the deep work. You want to kind of reset in the evening, recharge your battery. And you can do something light. I don't know, maybe it could be like a quiz or watching like a animated video of a certain topic. Something light and easy on your mind, And again, like I said here, after a week, increase the duration. Alright, study biohacks. Yeah, do not eat first thing in the morning. I briefly just mentioned that just then. Now I'm going to tell you my experience. There were times where I know a lot of people, even studies or whatever, they say, oh, you should eat breakfast or whatever. And I was eating breakfast. Even if it was a light breakfast, I'd feel too hungry. And if I ate a bigger breakfast, I'd feel so tired that I would fall back to sleep. I'd go back to sleep, literally. So I decided, you know what, it's best I don't eat anything in the morning. And I just, clear my body. And honestly, intermittent fasting is amazing. You should all do it. Genuinely, do not eat in the morning. It will help you. Trust me. Eat healthier, yeah. So if you are gonna do a longer study session or whatever, and you do need to eat healthy. Don't have too many carbs. Lower your carbs. Have some avocado on toast. Something nutritious. Have some vegetables, fruits, blueberries, whatever it is. You need that hydration. Yeah, you need to be hydrated. Otherwise, your cognitive abilities are not gonna work as well. Exercise, yeah. Even if it's just having a 10-minute walk outside, you should exercise. There are billions of studies on it. I'm not going to bother explaining, because I'm sure you already know. Sleep is important. Now I've forgotten how the sleep cycles work, REM, deep, whatever. But one of those cycles actually, how do I even remember this information? So one of the sleep cycles actually helps you retain the information. And stuff like that, and I think it helps with creativity too, something like that. I just don't have it in my head right now, but so sleeping is important because it's going to help you remember stuff and understand stuff. All I remember is when I was a kid, there was a teacher who I used to have in school. This was the most valuable thing she said that this was for spelling tests. She always said, like, learn it before you sleep because it will go into your head, and that's exactly, it's so true. Sleep is important. It'll help you retain that information for the it'll go into your brain. Sleep is important. Napping is good, but don't overnap. Nap for around 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, I would say. Especially, like, say you've woken up early in the morning, and then midday in the afternoon you can take a nap. That will really help, honestly. Have a clear space. Make sure there's no mess. on your table. Make sure there's no distractions. For example, there could be like a controller or something, or just have your desk clear. Be organized. Make it nice, clear, because it'll kind of make like a psychological impact to that. Oh, it's time to study. Blah blah blah. You're kind of tricking your brain into studying. By having a clear space. For me personally, that's how that works. And if you do get hungry and stuff, honestly, leave some snacks on the table, healthy snacks like fruit I'm talking, or nuts or something. I don't know. Have some, leave some snacks on the table. Just make sure you're not leaving your space, because you want to sit there and get that work done. And make sure you have a good posture too. I've got like a bad back, honestly, from not actually taking care of my posture. And whenever you do these breaks, try to stretch. Actually, stretch. Stretching improves your confidence. Be the man or whatever, or be the woman. Stretch your body, stretch your muscles throughout. Cause, you don't want to feel tense. You want to feel relaxed. And be careful with breaks. Like I said previously, breaks can be disastrous. And do not watch stuff. By that I mean, don't start your day by watching a gaming video, because one, it will go into your head, and two, it will tempt you into playing a game. And say you do play a game, it's early morning, which I've done in the past. I've played a game early morning, I lost that game, I will think of it during my study session. Or even if I win that game, I will still think about it in my study session. So kind of clear your mind. Don't really watch anything crazy, you know what I mean? Like, you can watch like an educational stuff if you want in the morning. But I've had a bad habit of just watching stuff first thing in the morning, and that's not been helpful, let's just say. Yeah, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So stop rushing, take your time. So like I said, I know I said previously 2 hours is a good start, or 1 hour is a good start. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's not about how many hours you study, it's about the quality. Don't make this, I know I said 1 hour, 2 hours to begin with, but like, try and do it like this instead. Today I'm going to go over this topic. Usually for me, one good topic will take about 2 to 3 hours. Depends. Obviously, some topics are way longer. Like, some topics literally could take you days. So, it's not about the quantity. Try and get some good quality work in, and yeah, just stop worrying about, how many hours have I done, and get this psychological thing out of your head, because it's just not helpful. Personally, for me, some people like that, because they feel proud that, we've done this, which is fine, but it's honestly all about the quality. Discussion. So, I don't know why I even wrote this, but I don't know what else I've got to say. Let me think. Do I have anything to say? Okay, yeah, this is random part of the discussion. A lot of people, they like making notes. Now, one problem I have with notes is that I used to make notes, and I just feel like it's a waste of time. For me personally, it's like you're writing stuff out from the book. Why would you do that when it's already written in the book? You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't make sense. However, if you do want to write notes, be active with it. So, for example, let's say you write a chapter about myocardial infarction. Why don't you write notes on it? Then what you want to do is, like, maybe cover it up, and then, like, pretend there's someone there, and, like, pretend you're teaching them the notes you wrote. Does that make sense? That could be helpful. But in terms of notes, I don't think it's that good, because there's so many free notes online if you do like notes and stuff. I think writing notes of the important stuff is good. I think that's good. What do I think about notes? Notes. Yeah, for me personally, I just think notes are a waste of time. But again, for some people, making notes helps. This is what I wanted to say. If you're in a classroom or a lecture, some lectures are long, man, 2 hours plus sometimes. One thing is nice is writing notes then. Just writing down what the professor is focusing on. Like, let's say she says something important about a treatment of a specific disease. I'm going to write it down. You know what I mean? I'll just write down any important stuff she mentions on the iPad. Just so, like, I don't fall asleep, or you know what I mean. So I have some sort of concentration or focus. That will really help. And right now in this discussion slide, I'm just going to talk about nonsense. So if you want to leave, you can. Whether I come up with anything valuable, I'm not sure. I'm just going to talk here about random study stuff. What else is there which can help? You know, one thing I want to say is like, I just want you to know that it's not easy. You know, it is difficult, and that's why I've told you to begin small, 1 hour every day. Then the next week, try 2 hours, and build that up. And there might be days when you really don't feel like it, but honestly, once you do this 1 hour thing every day and 2 hours thing every day, they say it takes 21 days to build a habit. You will eventually get to the point where you don't even think about studying. Your body will do it itself. And I'm not even joking. I've been in that state many times, and it's really cool to see. So, and one thing I wanted to say is that if you're on holiday or whatever, and like you're off school, college, university, whatever it is you're doing, just enjoy your holiday and stuff. But what I would personally do, I know like medical students, they do study throughout the holiday because they have big exams like USMLE, this, whatever. But what I wanted to say is that, like, in like maybe let's just say 2 weeks before the holiday finishes, build that study routine up. At the end of the day, it's just purely discipline. You don't want to lose that routine, because if you take a big break from studying, then obviously it's going to be hard to get back into, and it will feel awful. So it's really nice to just get back into it. I would honestly study in the holidays, and build that routine. But obviously, at the end of the day, it's up to you. But yeah, I think I've said a lot. Now, I don't even know if this video is going to get any views. I might be talking to myself this whole time. But if you do see the video and you think it's somewhat valuable, leave a like, leave a comment. You can subscribe. On this channel, I'm just going to talk about random things which might be helpful. And it's not always going to be about study. It can be about anything, honestly. Whatever comes to my mind, because my mind's a bit strange, I will talk about. Whether it's studying, could be exercising, could be about life, it could be about the sun, it could be about the moon, it could be about anything. It can be about anything. Anyways, I think that's it for today. And yeah, I feel like I'm missing a few things, which I'm sorry about. If I do remember them, I will try to say it. Yeah, anyways, I'm getting tired.